Hey guys, Dusty Skeeto here again. So, I've seen a couple tutorials on how to properly clean and lube your chain. However, none of them really fit the way that I do it. So I thought I'd post a quick little how-to on just the way that I do it. So, first thing you want to do is get your bike up on either a center stand, rear stand, or if you want to do it like I do, I actually just use a pair of jack stands underneath the foot peg mounts, and I've been doing that for a while and never had it screw up on me. You just want to make sure it's on there, good and solid. Mine doesn't really move around, so I'm going to call that good. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a bucket, something to clean the chain with. So I just use regular dish soap, chain wax, and a grunge brush. You also need a couple rags. I have one shop rag for cleaning, one for rinsing, and then one for drying and finishing. So here's my justification for where a lot of people use kind of expensive chain cleaners, that kind of stuff. I just use Ajax dish soap. My line of thinking there is when I'm done working on my bike and I have grease on my hands, that's what I use to get the grease and the dirt off. It's, from what I've seen, it doesn't damage any kind of rubber parts because, again, I've used it to wash my bike, used it to wash dishes that had rubber, O-rings and gaskets on them. Never had any bad luck with it. So it's cheap, you probably already have it in your house, so that's what I use. So, start off, put this in here, be right back. Okay, now we got that ready. So what I've seen a lot of guys do on their videos is they get their rag, and they spin the tire, and they sit there spinning the tire, clean, 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 spin the tire, clean, clean, clean. And it seems like it takes forever, and I thought, man, if only there was some device you could hook up to your rear wheel that would spin the chain for you, right? Well, it turns out there is, and I guarantee you probably already own one. So, let's get this fired up. Alright, so make sure your kickstand's up. And again, this is why you secure it with the rear wheel off the ground. So, slowly let out the clutch. And there you have it. Rear wheel spinning. So, what I start out by doing is I get my soapy water and just start dripping it on right there. This way gives me a good chance to make sure there's soapy water all the way around. Now, don't let this get caught, but that's why I do it up here. So if it gets caught, it just gets right that way. I have a chance to save it. Alright, so now what you want to do is you actually want to start putting some pressure on the chain to clean it. So you can see we've actually already gotten a bit of grease on my rag. So what I do is I just come here, get a little bit of slack on my rag, and hold it on. Do that for a while, hold it on. And we're not really going through with the grunge brush yet. This is just trying to get the surface grease off. A lot of times this will just get the old chain wax off. So if you can see there, see if I can get it out in the sunlight, I actually already got a fair bit of grease on there. So I'm gonna do it again. And I'm sure there's probably some safety hazards associated with this, but it's actually been doing all right for me for a while now. So again, got some more grease. So now we're gonna get the grunge brush. So this thing, it's just got bristles on 3 sides, and you can use it to clean your chain out. So, get a little bit of soap and water on it, and I just put it on the chain. So I let it clean the front and the top, then I let it clean the front and the underside, and just kind of alternate between the two for a little bit. But now you want to clean the back side. Alright, that's fine. Top and back side. Top and front side. Hey, you just kind of sit there, you do this for a little bit. Put some pressure on it. And go back. Clean this side. Lift up. Push down. Lift up. Push down. And there you go. You can get some back and forth motion if you want, whatever. So, just keep it up. Sometimes I'll get it right here on the sprocket, just that way I can clean a little bit of the sprocket. And again, you'll feel it want to pull against you, but just hold it in place, it'll be fine. Also, supposedly you're supposed to have the chain be a little bit warm when you're cleaning. I don't know if that's, I don't know exactly why. Maybe it just makes the oil a little bit more, likely to come off. But in any case, this will do that. That's for sure. And I figure this helps clean the sprocket teeth a little bit, keeps the sprocket looking a little shinier, whatever. Again, probably just a placebo, but that's how I do it. So, now if you look in there, this water is already unbelievably nasty and scummy, and this was a clean bucket before I started. So, do another round, another round, another round. Make sure you're pushing, pulling. You want to get a lot of pressure on that chain. So, now, come up here, flip it into neutral, we'll see how we did. So here's my chain. Let's see if and I'd say, for a chain with about 13,000 miles on it, I'd say that looks pretty stinking good. No immediate obvious grease stains. So, occasionally you'll see some, but by this point they just kind of slide right off. So, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it back in gear. Slowly let the clutch out. Now, come over here, and we're gonna get a rinsing rag, which means we gotta get that water out of that bucket, get that bucket with nothing but clean water in it. So, be right back. Alright guys, so coming back in. So, now we're on the rinsing and drying phase. So, basically what I did was I took that bucket of water over there, and while this was running and starting to fill my -2 hand, basically just poured water right here, until there was clean water coming off. So then what I did from there is took my drying rag, and you just hold it there until it stops coming back down. And the thing is you'll actually still see little bits of grime and grease still coming off at this point, so you're actually kind of buffing it too. So I make sure I pinch the front and back, pinch the top and bottom, and you basically just let that run for a couple seconds. That way you can guarantee the chain's going all the way around. Front and back, top and bottom, front and back, top and bottom, and finally my rag's coming back relatively clean. So now it's time to get the chain waxed. Alright, so for my chain wax I use, it's just Maxima chain wax. So you shake it up for a minute, which I've already done. Pop the top. Now there's a lot of prevailing theories about where exactly you're supposed to spray. Some say you spray down here, some say you spray on top of the sprocket to let it soak down, because, they say you're supposed to spray on the inside circumference because that means that it'll be kind of forced out by the rotation of the chain. I don't know what's true or not. I usually just spray it right here because that's the safest place for me to get my hand. And also I figure it'll dribble onto the sprocket teeth will force it up into what's below it. So, just spray it on, spray it on, spray it on. And I let it go a couple rotations because I figure I'm not hitting any one particular part very hot and heavy. So I make up for it by letting it run a few passes. And we're good. So, take my drying rag, hold it right here, and just buff off the excess for a couple passes. Just real light pressure. And you're done. So, now if you look at it, should have a nice, clean, well-oiled chain, and it really doesn't take that long. Hell, filming it probably took me longer than anything else. So anyways, that's the way I do it, and catch you guys later.